Hi, Jody. So, broadening my horizons. I did your video that you did for the OMEA thing. Thanks for letting us do that, by the way. I kind of freaked out when I realized my tempo links had expired over the strike, so thanks. I appreciate it. Um, yeah, so I'll jump in at the start. So, what does learning look like? I really like the video of the grandma trying to figure out the Google Home. Um, it was really funny, but I also think it's a really good example of the difference between explaining and teaching. Um, because I know for myself personally, you could explain something to me 50 times until I actually, you know, get down on the ground and do it. I don't really know how to do it, right? I might be able to like re explain you the steps, but I don't actually understand how to do the thing until, you know, I've done it or we look at it in a different way. And I think acknowledging the difference between those two things and working with that difference is really important if you really want your kids to like properly understand something and understand how to do it. Um, and and students, they retain things, well, not just students, everybody retains things much better when they discover something on their own, right? um, it's like discovering a TV show by yourself or being told by someone, hey, you should watch this. Like it's a very different kind of thing. um, I know, like, I don't remember anything on any history test or research paper I've pretty much ever done, but I do remember every little detail about this like grade 11 history project I did on a World War II veteran that went to my high school. Because there was no textbook for us to read to learn about it. My teacher couldn't tell us anything about it, like she didn't know, right? It was all, we had to go, research in newspaper archives and find war journals of people and stuff, like we we did the discovering. We uncovered the story. We did everything, right? Our teacher just pointed in a direction and said go, and the rest of it was all us. I remember everything about that. Couldn't tell you anything I wrote on my history midterm like 3 weeks ago. um, Maybe I should have studied more for that one. um, but yeah, there's a big difference between knowing and understanding, and it's very difficult to come to an understanding just by having someone tell you. um, so with the project-based learning, I really liked the the taking something simple and having and providing a fairly strict framework around that. I think it, um, to steal a video game term, it creates a high floor with a high ceiling. You know, for the kids that get really, really into it, there's so many possibilities they can go with. But for the kids who might struggle with that kind of thing, the framework provides them enough support that they can still end up with a finished product that they can be happy with. Excuse me. Um, um, yeah, you don't need to have a whole lot of previous knowledge going into it to be successful, right? A kid might be a great musician but just doesn't really understand music theory that well, and this gives them an opportunity to write something when normally they wouldn't. Um, they're with um, a simplistic task with the framework. It kind of it The only limit is basically how much work you're willing to put into it and your creativity, which I really, really like. Um, so the musical practice part, um, I like thinking about the idea with students of what makes a particular practice unique. Um, like the example in the video is the Temptations. It's like, what makes the Temptations different from Nirvana, right? It's the same instruments. It's a similar genre, but you would never confuse the two, right? Um, and I really like digging into the ideas of like what do you actually see? What do you actually hear? Like what are the specifics of what's happening? And I think if kids get a good understanding of like the specific things that are happening, it really helps them understand why the people are doing what they're doing, and what differentiates it from other things. Um, and as soon as I got started thinking about that, I just couldn't stop thinking about all kinds of different like projects and different ways you could take the kind of thing. And I think something like that is a really good opportunity for like a kind of holistic um, uh, project where you're looking, like performing, writing, history, all kinds of stuff, which is something that I really really like with music. Because I think too often we just get focused on performing, which obviously is still very important, but there's so many different other aspects that we can learn about that we don't really in class. And just like before, how I was saying, knowing is not the same as understanding. Knowing is not the same as ability, right? I got a big fat theory textbook that where I learned in theory how to write a symphony if I wanted to. Can I actually do it? No. you know like I know how to do 100 push-ups. Could I do them? No. um, and so we need to sort of like flex these other musical muscles that we don't really get to all that much. And I think when kids have the opportunity to do that, it's also really exciting for them. The you know if they got all did research and got dressed up and learned how to write something similar to a thing that they looked at because they had broken it down and found out all the specifics and then emulated those specific things. That would be such a cool experience for a kid. um, so yeah, my mind was going all over the place with different things you could do with that kind of project. I really like that part. um, yeah. Anyway, it's going a bit long, so yeah, thanks again for letting me use your video, and take care. Have a good break.